I read every word of it page by page. You said that you'd be coming for me soon. Oh my God, I'll be ready for you. I wanna run on greener pastures, I wanna dance on higher hills, I wanna drink from sweeter waters in the misty morning chill. And my soul is getting restless for the place where I belong. I can't wait to join the angels and sing my heaven song.
Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today's July 3rd, 2022. I hope you enjoyed that introduction. I wanted to do something different here today, and maybe in the following videos I will open up my time with a worship song and get our hearts ready for the message that the Lord is going to be giving to us. And so I pray you are all doing well today and blessed. I want to go over some of the information I shared in my last video just to give you a quick overview, and then I want to add some pieces of information to what we are watching leading up to July 13th through July 16th, and what could be a very critical time on the Hebrew calendar throughout history, and also as we're watching the signs this year, this could be a time that is coming to a culmination. And so let us consider all of these details. If you've not seen my previous video, please do so. It's very informative and very, very quick to get you up to date. And so what I want to do here is just let you know that we are focusing on this sign of Jonah, the second sign of Jonah that happened when Jonah Handler was saved out of the Surfside condo collapse on June 24th, 2021. Now, if we convert this to the Hebrew calendar, June 24th, 2021 is 14 Tammuz. So the second sign of Jonah from 1 year ago connects us to July 13th, 2022, 14 Tammuz on the Hebrew calendar. The very interesting thing about this is that if we go to the Star of Bethlehem in 2015, June 30th, 2015, and we translate that to the Hebrew calendar, June 30th, 2015 was also the 14th day of Tammuz. So this is a very interesting connection that this sign of Jonah is the 14th day of Tammuz, while the Star of Bethlehem is also the 14th day of Tammuz. So the 7 year warning from the Star of Bethlehem on the Hebrew calendar takes us to the 14th of Tammuz, July 13th, 2022. On July 14th, we have a huge comet that will make its closest approach to Earth in July, and this comet, 2017 K2 Pan-STARRS, it will be making its closest approach, and there are very important details together with this that I shared about in my previous message. I'm not going to get into that again right now. As I said, please watch that first message so you can get up to date on all of that, but there are very profound and amazing details about the connection of this comet to this day, and we should take into consideration. The next connection we have to July 13th is the full supermoon that is happening. It's the biggest and brightest of 2022. And as it says in Proverbs 7:19 through 20, my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took his purse filled with money and will not be home till full moon. In the King James Version, this is shown as the day appointed. But if you go to the original language, the Hebrew, this comes out, the day appointed is full moon. So this is talking about the return of the husbandman during a full moon. And this is the full moon time that we are watching between July 13th and July 16th. Very important piece of information connected to the return of the husbandman. Then we have the next piece of information is the trip on these days exactly by Joe Biden to the Middle East. He will be visiting Israel and the West Bank and Saudi Arabia. And there is a lot of talk right now that Joe Biden's purpose for this trip is to divide Jerusalem and to create a two-state solution. There's a lot of talk right now about peace and security ahead of this trip. So this is a very important time that we need to be watching, independent of all of these other signs. Israel being one of the greatest signs in the entire Bible, we have to watch this trip and quite possibly a declaration of peace and security. And then we have all of these other signs kind of to go with this to show us this is a focal point that we need to be considering. And another piece of information I shared in my previous video was that Jupiter is entering the evening sky at midnight on July 16th. Now, this may be the true end of the planetary parade if Jupiter is no longer going to be in the grouping of the planets that are right now grouped during the morning. But Jupiter is going to be entering now the evening sky, and it will no longer be a morning planet. Starting on July 16th, the report that I have here shows that this is the midnight hour that this is going to be happening. Very interesting. We have biblical understanding about the meaning of midnight. And according to Matthew 25:6, we welcome the Lord at midnight. At midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom comes out. Go out to meet him. Now, during these signs that I've shared with you, I shared about the husband who's coming back at the full moon, and I've shared about the bridegroom that comes at midnight. Now we're going to talk about weddings in Israel and the timing that weddings do occur, the timing that weddings can occur, and a timing that weddings should not and do not occur. And we're going to find that this timing of the 3 weeks of mourning when weddings do not occur is connected to the 3 weeks of mourning from July 16th to August 7th. These are called the 3 weeks of mourning from 17 Tammuz to Tisha B'Av, or to the 9th of Av. And the 3 weeks in Tisha B'Av are designated as a time of mourning over the destruction of the Holy Temple and of the exile of the Jews. So this is the very interesting piece of information that is connected to this timing of July 13th through July 16th, is that July 16th is the beginning of 3 weeks of mourning on the Hebrew calendar, starting at the 17th of Tammuz. July 16th in the evening is 17 Tammuz. Now, what are the 3 weeks of mourning leading up to Tisha B'Av? The fast of the 17th of the Hebrew month of Tammuz, known as Shiva Asar Ba Tammuz, is the start of the 3-week mourning period for the destruction of Jerusalem and the two holy temples. The fast actually commemorates 5 tragic events that occurred on this date. Moses broke the tablets when he saw the Jewish people worshiping the golden calf. During the Babylonian siege of Jerusalem, the Jews were forced to cease offering the daily sacrifices due to the lack of sleep. Apostamus burned the Holy Torah. The walls of Jerusalem were breached by the Romans in 69 CE on 17 Tammuz after a lengthy siege. 3 weeks later, after the Jews put up a valiant struggle, the Romans destroyed the Holy Second Temple on the 9th of Av. The Jerusalem Talmud maintains that this is also the date when the Babylonians breached the walls of Jerusalem on their way to destroying the first temple. So we have 3 weeks of mourning that lead up to the destruction of both the first and the second temples, starting on the 17th day of Tammuz, and this is July 16th, the beginning of the 3 weeks of mourning on the Hebrew calendar. What happened on Tisha B'Av in history During the time of Moses, approximately 1312 BCE, the Jews accepted the malicious report of the 10 spies. Immediately after, a decree was issued forbidding the 10 spies from entering the land of Israel. And then, instead of entering into Israel, into the promised land, they were banished to the desert for 40 years. The destruction of the first temple by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. At this time, approximately 100,000 Jews were slaughtered and millions more were exiled. The destruction of the second temple by the Romans in 70 CE. Approximately 2 million Jews died and another 1 million were exiled. In 135 CE, the city of Batar was conquered by the Romans. This was the Jews' last stand against the Romans, and over 100,000 Jews were killed. And number 5, Jerusalem was rebuilt as a pagan city and named Aelia Capitolina. The Romans declared that access into the city was forbidden to Jews. Okay, so we have a time that begins on July 16th and ends on August 6th, August 7th, the 3 weeks of mourning, the time that is remembered the destruction of the temples and the exile leading up to, and the siege of Jerusalem leading up to the destruction of the temples. There are normal observances during the 3 weeks of mourning and Tisha B'Av, and many of these mourning related customs and observances that are followed for the entire 3 week period leading up to Tisha B'Av. Some examples are no haircuts, no new clothing purchases, no listening to music, and no Jewish weddings are to be held during this time. Okay, so once we go into, on the Hebrew calendar, the 3 weeks of mourning leading to Tisha B'Av, we have 3 weeks where weddings are prohibited. So we have this scripture in Matthew 24, 38 and 39. It says, "For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Many people believe that Jesus' message in Matthew 24 was to the Jews, and they have a time on their calendar where weddings are not permitted during the 3 weeks of mourning. Yet Jesus said that when he comes, when the timing of the Son of Man, it will be as in the days of Noah when they were eating and drinking, when they were marrying and giving in marriage. Now, if they cannot have weddings during the 3 weeks of mourning, is this a sign to us? Is this a message to us, a clue to us of the possibility that the wedding must take place before the 3 weeks of mourning? And this is very interesting detail connected to the calendar, connected to the watch time that we have from July 13th to July 16th. Is this the time? Because once they go past July 16th and into the 3 weeks of mourning, then there's no longer the marrying and giving in marriage in the Hebrew culture for the 3 weeks of mourning. So is this a signal to us that the rapture and the marriage supper of the Lamb should take place before the 3 weeks of mourning? So this is another piece of information I wanted to share with you. I wanted to give you the history of why the 17th of Tammuz is a beginning day, a very important time on the Hebrew calendar. This is exactly where we're seeing from July 13th to July 16th, the beginning of the 3 weeks of mourning. Now, this could be the timing of the rapture of the church, and then we have a 21-day period, which is the 3 weeks of mourning, and this could be the final battle. And we could be in heaven during this time. We could be in heaven during this time after the rapture of the church, and we have this battle that's taking place with Michael and the archangel Michael with the dragon, a 3 week period of mourning and a 3 week battle that's taking place, and then Satan being cast out. And 3 weeks later, after the rapture of the church, could be the beginning of the wrath of God when Satan is cast out on Tisha B'Av and the destructions of the temple begin to take place. So these are just some thoughts that I wanted to share with you, connect with you on the Hebrew calendar, why this time frame is important. And before we move on to Tisha B'Av on August 6th and August 7th, we're going to continue to focus on this time period between July 13th and July 16th, which may very well be the time of our deliverance. This is what we are hoping for. So I pray you guys are blessed today. I just wanted to share these things with you, give you some heads up, give you some things to think about. Please continue to email me at fletchdoctor222@yahoo.com. That is FLETCHDR222@yahoo.com. And continue to leave your messages here underneath the videos. They're so helpful. So much information is being sent and shared in the body of Christ. And this is an excellent resource for all of us to continue learning. So I pray you guys are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.
You wrote a letter and you signed your name. I read every word of it page by page. You said that you'll be coming for me soon. Oh my God, I'll be ready for you. I wanna run on greener pastures. I wanna dance on higher hills. I wanna drink from sweeter waters in the misty morning chill. And my soul is getting restless for the place where I belong. I can't wait to join the angels and sing my heaven song.